I will also make sure that I have my line rail selected on my junction box on the front buggy to right line rail. Once you've set the front carriage up, make sure that you have all the safety pins back in their proper position before walking back to the cab and beginning work. We have set the sensor rail followers down, the mask rail followers down, and we got the front light carriage where we want it and set up. I will now turn the power on to the light carriage power on switch. Okay, once you have the light carriage power switch on, make sure you are on the appropriate line rail. We want right, so I'll press the line rail button and shift it to the right. I'm going to be working in production mode, so I'll push the mode button to production. I also want to raise the track on the left side for the surface, so I'll press the grade rail and select left grade rail. Once I've done this, before I start work, I will go out of the cab now and look through the center sight tube of both the surfacing and the lining sensors on the left side of the machine, ensuring that I have a good bright surfacing light and a good bright lining light looking through the center sight tubes of the sensors. What to do now is I'm going to sight through the center sight tube and make sure I'm looking at a good bright light. My sensor is turned some, so I'm going to loosen the lock bolts on it, turn it and line it up so I'm getting a good bright light, and then I will lock them back down. Now I'll look through the center sight tube of the lining sensor and aim it towards the light, making sure I got a good bright light. Now that you have your machine set up, you want to look again at your screen, making sure you have your correct line rail, the correct mode that you want to work in, and the correct grade rail selected. You want to be in low gear, and we will be in work mode. We will now turn on the power for the liner, and we'll also turn on the bias, which will shove the mask rail follower and the sensor rail follower guide wheels to the correct line rail. We will make sure that the engine is running at least 1200 RPM. We'll now turn on the vibrator motors. Now then, my light position, I will raise my surfacing light up using the arrow up button until my surfacing meter, which is the left jack meter, is a little bit below the green area. make sure that my jack beam is unlocked, my rail clamps are unlocked, my work heads are unlocked. My work head's unlocked. Now I'll come to the work head joystick and I'll hit it for the down mode. Now I'll position myself over a tie. I'll first release the parking brake, release the handbrake, and I will use the forward reverse push button joystick, position myself over a tie to get started. Okay, now we should be ready to start. Before you start tamping, you want to remember that you have two machines built into one. One surfaces rail or raises and cross levels rail. The other one lines the rail. And you want to start off with the lining meter in the green. Now if you have to back up or pull forward, or back up, excuse me, from where you are wanting to start the work, you can do so and just line to that point where you want to start. In this case, we can pretty much start where we want to, right here. What I do now is I will throw the clamp switch and the clamps will come in. We will jack the track up, and then I will, for a few moments, I will use the manual work heads. Now then, to move forward, you do not have to unclamp the track. You simply hit the forward joystick, position your machine to the next tie, I'm adjusting my clamp time delay on making sure the machine stops and then the rail clamps will come in. That will take a couple of times to do it. See? Now that we've tamped a few ties in the manual work head using the work head joystick, I'm going to unclamp the track, and I'm going to make sure that I'm in production mode on my screen, and I'm going to try going to auto work heads. I will press the auto button, and I will select for right now one insertion. Now all I have to do is clamp the track, the work heads will go down and tamp. Then I just have to hit the forward button, move to the next tie, and the work head will tamp on its own. If you're in a high lift and you need more insertions, you simply have to go up to your touch screen, and where it says insert, I can add one more insertion to each work head, throw the clamp switch again, and now it will tamp twice. I'm going to unclamp the track, and if you were in a higher lift, say 3 inches or better, then you wanted to use automatic work head, you would go back up to your touch screen, and and where it says insert, you can push for 3 insertions. That is the maximum amount of insertions you can do with the automatic workhead. If you need to do more than 3 insertions, you should go camping with the manual joystick. I'm going to use only the right outside head.